We are now recording. Good morning. Happy Thursday on December 8th, 2022, Savages. How y'all doing?
Woohoo!
Yes. I've gone through the salutations this morning already through the chats. If you have not received a salutation from me while I've been doing the pre-show show stream, please sound off in the chats so I can give you a good morning on a Thursday. Let's see who we have in Jitsi today. We have Caligirl, we have 45-1. Actual, we have Lady, King of Casual, and FN Super Trucker. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
All
Good
right.
morning.
Yes.
Howdy.
So, yesterday I was having lots of technical issues, and oh man, was it ever embarrassing. But today we're not having so many technical issues, so I would like to talk about Space Engineers. Space Engineers is a game we are currently playing. I am hosting a server in the United States for this, Space Engineers. If you would like to join us, you can join us on either Xbox or PC. Let me show you how to join the game if you are so inclined. You type in chaos, you hit the E for EOS. It'll come up with Chaos World of the BDE Brigade server. We currently have 10 slots available. That means at any given time there can be 10 people on the server. Just click that, join the world, and come adventure with us in space as we engineer and die repeatedly by crashing into stuff or running out of oxygen or what have you. Here, let me show you this. Watch this. Watch this gas escape. Do you see that? That's the atmosphere of the inner chamber. Because we're on some Mars-like planet right now. Is this even broadcasting? I can't even see. Yes, it is broadcasting.
I don't see it on Jitsi.
Well, you don't see it on Jitsi because I'm not doing it
Oh,
on
okay,
Jitsi, but
okay.
that's the world we came from last night. 45-1 piloted a ship which landed here. Let me show you over here. This is our landing area. Ah, what the hell? Okay, my dampeners are on. As you can see, there are pieces of this. It was a big ship. Anyway, 45 tried to land the machine. Apparently, we did not put the proper thrusters on, so it made a whole bunch of holes in the planet, but did expose some lovely silicone. And now I'm all wonky. So let me straighten my yaw. Go back over to the base. I think this is a piece of. I think that's a piece of our rocket right there, which got like knocked off and stuff. Oh wait, no. This looks like somebody's building something. Maybe that's an ore detector. Anyway, Space Engineers, if you'd like to come and join us, we are discovering stuff as we go. Why, look at that. It looks like Super Trucker is already on here. Super Trucker, you be safe,
Yeah, I'll
would
be
you?
logging in a minute.
All right. I'm going to go back over here, and then I'm going to log out to save on my bandwidth. So yes, once again, if you want to join some salty savages and the space engineering exploration and dying miserably over and over and over, please come join
So,
us.
how many girls are in your group of 10?
I'm kind of. I'm none. None. There are no
None?
women. There are no
There are
women
no
currently.
women. Hmm.
There
Yeah, my
are none.
brain when you guys start talking about space rockets and stuff like that, my brain just goes, "Oh, what can I be doing domestically?" Like it's like my brain just switches off. I'm not saying that all women are like that. I'm just
No, I'll
saying
tell you.
me as a female.
I'll tell
I'm
you
like,
what happens. These guys, they go and they make messes. It's like they go and crash shit, and then it's just like they just go on to like the next thing. And I'm like, look at all this trash. And so
and
I'm constantly picking up after these
picking
guys.
it
It's
up.
like I'm
You know
just
what?
like I'm like the house bitch. Go on.
It's
What's
so
up?
funny that you say that though, because I was back in the day, I was in a lucky to be in a class with kids, boys and girls. And I was observing how they played on the internet, and the girls were very meticulously fixing their thing, and they didn't want to mess anything up. And the boys were just blowing shit up. They'd make something, blow it up, make something, blow it up, make something, blow it up. It was crazy. I was just like, okay. So our brains are just definitely wired a little bit different.
Just a little bit. Just a little
Just a
bit.
little bit. Just a teeny tiny.
I'm enjoying it, and I'm so glad that 45-1 suggested it. I don't hear 45. Are you still there? Okay, maybe 45's not there right now, so I'll move on to the news story. All right,
I
so
don't see him
what?
here.
What?
Yeah, he's not here. I don't see him.
Really? I have to
No.
continue reading for free. Instantly log into. Oh, fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'll do it. Okay, fine. Who am I going to be? I'll log in with this one. It's my trash account. I'll just like log in with that. Ugh. Now, what the hell is this? What is this? I just want to read the freaking article. Oh, I'm going to have a talk with the person that I'm going to be getting in contact with, asking them what the hell. But the person's a journalist and not one of their IT people, so I can't expect much. But anyway, this story is from December 8th. We're currently on December 8th, so it's a current story. This is from Epoch Health. Am I saying that? Is it Epic or Epoch? I'm going to say Epoch. Anyway, FDA says ivermectin doesn't work against COVID-19, but points to studies that show it does. Really? So let's see. The the FDA says a drug called ivermectin does not work against COVID-19, but links to studies that show it does. Okay? The FDA's website states, currently available data do not show ivermectin is effective against COVID-19, but half of the studies to which the FDA points support using ivermectin against COVID-19. Now, historically, I've heard of this. I've heard of, you remember when ivermectin came out? And they're like, oh, don't do ivermectin because that's like horse paste and stuff like that. Yet when you ask these same people, are you okay with people using ketamine? They're like, oh yeah, people should totally use ketamine. It's like, oh, but isn't that a horse tranquilizer? Mm.
Give it to your kids.
Give it to your kids. Okay, here. Okay, I have to back up now. Desmond is amazing ketamine. Let's see. Video emerges of drag kid Desmond is amazing, pretending to snort. Really?
Oh. Oh, because you're on the Epic Times?
No, I'm not on the Epoch Times anymore. And this video has been removed for violating YouTube's terms of service.
Good job, Susan.
Susan, you finally did something right. Anyway,
Wow.
it showed this drag kid, and those are two words which should never be put together in any language, anywhere. Drag and kid. In any context, unless you're
Is
dragging
that an oxymoron?
well, unless you're dragging that kid through Target, it's like you do not put the words drag and kid in the same damn sentence ever. And what were you saying?
Is that an oxymoron? Is that what they call those?
Well, let's look up oxymoron because right now
I don't know if I'm
I
using
think
the
the
right
coffee's like kicking in, and I'm not sure. So, let's see, an oxymoron. One moment. A rhetorical figure in which an incongruous or contradictory terms are combined. Well, no, it's not quite.
No?
It's not quite an oxymoron. It's
Okay.
just. Let's see, a contrary. Yeah, these aren't contrary things because unfortunately, drag kids. Do I have to say this sentence?
I don't know.
Thank you. Drag kids exist somehow.
Makes me want to puke.
Who did this? Who did this? Anyway, back to the story that like took us down this mini rabbit hole. Ivermectin. All right. So, FDA was all saying, no, don't do ivermectin. It does you no good. It won't protect you against illness or COVID-19 and such. Oh, yet for some reason, studies show, and let's see, where are these studies? Because, I'm the kind of person who, when reading an article, doesn't just accept it by its face value. It's like I actually want to see the receipts. So where are the damn receipts now? Because now that this article has been presented, now I want to see where you got your information from. Especially if I'm possibly doing an interview with one of your journalists, I'd really like to know how you guys work. Let's see.
Where's
FDA.
the peer-reviewed information?
Oh, studies on... Oh, look at this. They provide
There we go.
all the studies. Look at what the Epoch Times did. Wow. Let's go look. Outcome, positive. Let's go look at one of the things that they looked up. Effects of ivermectin. Okay, this one has azithromycin. And, okay, so this is Ivermectin, Z-Pak, and clocalciferol. What that is a vitamin D activator. Okay? It's what you use with osteoporosis in combination with calcium in order to remineralize bone tissue. So it's ivermectin, Z-Pak, and vitamin D basically. So let's see what their conclusions were. One moment. Okay, so this study in particular has limitations and includes its small sample size. So it's a small sample size due to its outpatient design, laboratories and CT scans to limit contact with reference COVID-19 hospitals were not obtained from all patients. So they're admitting it in this study that their sample was small. And then if I were to infer, it's because the hospitals were probably told not to release certain. Okay, my husband is making this an almost untenable situation. The dog is blind, Bruce. Pick the dog up so the dog stops barking. The dog is lost in the kitchen.
Oh.
I know. I know. So, probably didn't grab all the information from the hospitals because the hospitals were currently under the jurisdiction of the governments, whether it be the United States government, the French government, German government, what have you. We saw this global shit where these hospitals were told how they were to disseminate the information regarding COVID 19. So I can see how that would directly affect the study in this case. And then let's see. So this information was not obtained from all patients. Radiologic
So the
and
sample's biased.
it is sample bias. So,
Yeah.
radiologic and complete efficacy data will be presented later. In conclusion, in this study, a combined therapy of the ivermectin, Z-Pak, and vitamin D was given for 7 days, was effective to reduce symptomology, duration, and clinical progression of COVID 19. Well, that's one study. And where did that study come from? Let's see. That's Guadalupe Especia Hernandez. Okay, so these are the people who were involved in it. Oh, this came from Mexico City, Mexico. So let's look over. Oh shit! You guys can't see this on Jitsi. Okay, it's not being shared the properly way. Let's see. Let's see. Lots of positives,
We see
negatives.
it.
Oh wait, positives mixed and not supportive. So this one, let's see, efficacy. What's a non-supportive one? What did you want to say, Callie?
No, I said we can see it.
Okay, you can see it.
Yeah.
Well, you can't see the articles as I'm pulling them up because they're opening in a new tab.
Oh.
Let
Oh,
me go.
okay.
Yes, let me go
We
look
can
at the
see the
chat over
list.
here. Do you have enough female
Oh.
representation in Space Engineers game? No, we do not. And we also don't have. We currently can't change our skin color, but maybe I can find a mod so we can. I don't know. Maybe we can like just start doing plastic surgery on each other. I want to be a mad scientist. Okay, too many mics in Space Engineers. Not enough mics actually. Drunken Rocky. Here we go. That you guys are talking right there. Back in action. Did I miss all the YouTube porn? I can always pull up more. All right. It was
We are
education.
mad social scientists who are librarians and archiving information
In space.
in space.
Yes. All right. So
Cyberspace.
let's read one of the non-supportive articles and see what this was all about. Okay, so this one came from mdpi.com. Is efficacy and safety of ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine in patients with severe COVID 19 a randomized controlled study? So this one was published in March of 2022. And it talks about the abstract. I'm not going to go completely into the abstract, I'm just going to give the highlights of it. During the first year of the COVID 19 pandemic, unauthorized drugs were widely used. Ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine are drugs that inhibit viral replication in vitro. That means in a lab setting. There is a difference between in vivo, which is in a biologic entity, human, animal, plant. That would be considered in vivo. In vitro is when they are doing their experimentation, the replication, they're assessing cause and effect in a laboratory, typically in a test tube, a petri dish, or some sort of flask. Okay? So those are the differences. So the replication in vitro, and that have been used in several medical centers. The clinical trial analyzes their efficacy in hospitalized patients with moderate COVID 19. So, what they would do if they're doing it in vitro, they're grabbing a sample, like a tissue sample, or a saliva sample, or a swab sample, or some sort of sample, and then they're like running tests on it outside of the body. So, we go through that. Let's go to the conclusion because these studies, they're full of a lot of information, but we don't have all the time in the world to be sitting here reading all this stuff. So, conclusion: in non critically ill, hospitalized patients with pneumonia secondary to COVID 19, the use of hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin did not decrease significantly the number of hospitalization days, respiratory deterioration, or deaths. So, in non critically ill, so let's see, non critically ill hospitalized patients with pneumonia. Am I
Don't
in
they
a.
have pneumonia?
If you have pneumonia, is that not considered a critical situation? Let me
Yes.
look this up quickly. I just want to see. I just want to see if pneumonia, I mean, have definitions changed that much? Am I living in a different reality? Because the reality I came from, pneumonia was considered a critical situation.
Yeah. So my friend had pneumonia in 2019, and then in 2020, 6 months later, her doctor tested her blood to see if she had COVID pneumonia.
Well, I don't know. Okay,
She
aside from,
didn't.
I mean, how would you know? I mean, what kind of test have they actually isolated the virus?
I don't know, but they this is what she told me. She said I had pneumonia, and then now they're testing me. They're doing a, and I said, what kind of test? And she said a blood test. She's older. She's like in her 70s, and she was hospitalized for the pneumonia. So 6 months later, they go back and say, well, let's see if that was COVID. They did a blood test. They said no, but she's taken the vaccines, and uh, she also had the deep vein thrombosis after the vaccine.
Well, that's some shit, isn't it? I mean, getting a
Yes.
DVT after the vaccine, after having pneumonia 6 months prior. Okay, there is such a thing as mild pneumonia. So we're talking about, let's see, let me look at this conclusion again. My word, if he doesn't take care of that puppy, I'm going to have to like get up, go and have a talk with my husband. In non critically ill, hospitalized patients with pneumonia secondary to COVID 19. So they're not even saying, like, what kind of pneumonia. Like, was it mild? Was it severe? But I guess it's non critically ill. So just like, a light cough, some sputum. It's like, just take some tussin and just get over it. I want to see if there's a sample in this, though. Sample. Add inclusion blood samples. Okay, let me see. Samples, more blood samples, blood samples. So we've only got two versions of samples going on, but we're not going to talk about quantity, are we? Are we not going to talk about how many patients there were? Introduction. Da 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 da. The management of patients was to. Where's my patient count? How many patients? Let's see. Da da da.
So if they didn't isolate anything, what are they using as a marker to say that it's in your blood? I don't understand that.
Well, one moment. I'm looking for
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
sample
Sorry,
count.
sorry. I mean,
106 patients with an average age of 53 years were included, with a greater proportion of males. 72% had an associated comorbidity. 90% of patients were discharged due to improvement. So, if they were on this, if they were on this and they were discharged because of improvement, that would mean that their symptoms disappeared, or they were well enough to be discharged. So how are they concluding that 90%, okay, so 90% of patients were discharged due to improvement? The average duration of hospitalization was 6 days. And that doesn't mean that they were in there all 6 days because they needed to be there all 6 days. That just means that the hospital recommended that they stay in the bed. It's like this study doesn't say whether the patient said, you know what, I'm feeling well enough to go home now, let me go home. Because I remember when I was at the hospital, it's like, and I had my vertigo attacks. I was like, I really don't want to stay here anymore because I had already been at the hospital for like 3 days, okay? By day 2.5, I was like up and about, and I wasn't falling down on the floor anymore with my world spinning around me. And I was like, you know what? If I have more symptoms, I'll come back. But I really don't want to be at the hospital because the hospital, I don't like their beds. It's just, I don't like, I had this
Ugh.
other person in my room with me, and he had chronic diarrhea. So
Oh,
it's like I'd go into the bathroom, and there was shit all over the place. It was just like, and so I
get
named
me
him,
out of here.
what?
Get you out of there.
I wanted to be gone because I was like, okay. I like my husband would come and like visit me, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, Bruce, get me out of here. It's like Sergeant Splatters over there is making this very ugly for me. So, my nurse was like, no, no, you need to stay in bed. I'm like, I want to go home. So who knows why these people were like, in
I
the
mean, they'll
hospital for
keep you
six
in the
days.
hospital too, just so they can charge for that bed. Because I had that situation. They wouldn't let me go home one time because my temperature was too high. I'm like, my temperature's too high, so I can't go home. Oh yeah, very dangerous. It's very
And,
dangerous for you. I
and
was
how
like,
much does
oh.
that cost? Time to commute. See you later, Drunken Rocky.
I mean, nobody really knows because they don't send you the bills. So
Well, it would be nice if they could like show you the rolling bill, like, as long as people have all
yeah,
this technology where you have like a freaking PDA on you all the time.
I've
It's
seen
like
some bills before though. In the past, a 3 day visit was 12,000. I
that's
think it was 3 day visit. Yeah, 3 day visit was $12,000.
that's
But that
fine.
was a long time ago.
And then the prices only increased, I imagine.
That was, yeah, that was and then to have a baby, you see the bill, it was $10,000. That was a long time ago. That was last century.
Here, I'm gonna go deal with my husband and the puppy. I'll be right back because there is no way I can continue. I mean, I could continue like this, but it's just gonna fucking irritate me. So I'll be right back.
Don't be irritated. Just
Um,
go take care of
I'm
it.
gonna go take care of it, savages. I'll be right back. You know, while I'm gone, hold on. 45, are you there?
I don't see him here.
Okay, hold on. While I am away, because I don't want to just leave you guys in a lurch. Let's see, coast to coast, fire ant. This will be good enough. It's it's like a minute and 3 seconds long. Just enough time for me to go talk to my husband. I'll be right back.
That's it. Run. Ow! Try biting me now, ant. From the afterlife.
I've been interviewed by all of them. Regis, Kathy Lee, Regis and Kathy Lee.
Right.
I'd like to say that I think this show is very bad
Okay.
and should be stopped.
Okay.
I think you're a bad person, and don't take this the wrong way.
All right.
But I think you represent evil.
Yeah.
And your presence makes any kind of progress in the universe impossible.
Hold on a second, Conan. Moltar? This ant has come back from the dead. It must be one of those self-repeating immortal Franken ants.
It's probably just another different ant.
A second ant? No. It's his brother, avenging the death of his twin. It's his twin brother!
Really?
I'm gonna follow him home. Kill his whole family.
Space Ghost. I love Space Ghost. But you know what I love more? Squidbillies. Squidbillies is the bomb. Am I still live? What is it? Oh, so much quietness. It's those moments of quiet where I'm like, did I just like get knocked offline? Let me check
You're
the
good.
stream. Okay, we're still here. We're good. Okay, good.
555, Kev.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right, so back to the news here. Let's see. So, do we care about Gretchen Whitmer? No. However, what is going on? Trial ordered for 5 suspects in the Michigan Governor Whitmer kidnap plot? Are we still going on about this? Really? Are we still going on about freaking Wicked Witch of Michigan? A trial has been ordered for the 5 men accused of supporting a plot to kidnap Gretchen in October 20. It's 2 years. It's over 2 years ago. The state's attorney general, Dana. Okay, so let's see. Michigan residents, Michael. Okay, then they give the names of the people. Are accused of providing material support for terrorist acts, which carries a potential 20-year sentence. Really? While we have all these other criminals, like what, bludgeoning people, stabbing people, shooting people, and they're getting out with like no bail? Are you serious? Well, this is state by state. Oh, come on. They are also accused of carrying or possessing a firearm during the commission of a felony, which could see them handed a 2-year mandatory prison sentence. I swear, weren't these people who were in this, weren't they feds? Good morning, Feisty. Weren't these people found to be feds? So currently, the trial is to be scheduled. So right now, there's really no news to really report on this, other than there's a trial which has been ordered for the 5 suspects. Nothing else more than that. Against this individual, another AOC. It's like, did they do anything? How do you find somebody guilty when they haven't done anything? She was never kidnapped. It's like, okay, so there might have like been a plot. Well, okay, well, if you didn't do the crime, how do you do time for a crime you didn't commit? Is the intention enough? Is just having a story out there? Because currently it's just a fiction. Was somebody going to say something?
Well, see, they were conspiring with the feds, brought on by the feds, so they're guilty, not the feds.
Okay, so if I were sitting there having some whiskey at a tavern, and I was pretty lit, and somebody came and sat next to me and started talking some shit in my ear, trying to get me to go along with some scheme, and I was like, oh yeah. And then like the next morning I wake up with a hangover, and I get a phone call from these people, and I'm like, hey, you ready? And I'm like, ready for what? That thing we talked about last night. And it's like, ugh. And it's like, what were we talking about last night? And then they tell me the story, and I'm like, oh, if I promised, then my core values say I have to be like a man of my word. So I have to go through with whatever I said, whether I was drunk or not, because I'm responsible for what I say. And then I'm like, okay, well, give me the details again. What are we doing? That kind of thing? Is that considered conspiring? Is that considered what this might be? Because that's a scenario. It's like, am I actively guilty of conspiring to commit felonious acts at that point?
It depends on what side of the aisle you're on and what you're conspiring to do.
Well, shit. One moment. Let me go and do something. I'll be right
It's
back.
Congo.
But go on. I can still hear you, so continue.
Well, no, it's Clown World, so you can arrest people all day long, and the DA goes, it's fine. They just shot 3 people. They can go free. They had a hard life. When 2 other people can just brandish firearms to defend their property, brought up on charges, and done through the court system to the day is long.
I see that some things are not equal, apparently. And all this stuff, all of the 2 examples that you just mentioned, they should be handled by the states. How is it that the federal aspects are like reaching into the state scenarios and stuff? Why is it that we're seeing so much of the federal branch of the government getting their hands on these cases when they have nothing to do with the federal branch of the government?
Money.
Pardon me?
Money. It's always money.
Well,
it's always money and power.
It's sickness. It's sickness is what it is. And I wish people's eyes would open one moment as I do this, because I'm not going to leave this table again. I just want to check. I think my husband was a little bit upset. So I'm just going to like check in on him. I'm going to call him. He's upstairs. It's the drama portion of the show. It's part of the chaos. Good morning, honey. Was it okay that I asked you to take care of all that? Okay, fabulous. I love you. Oh, by the way, which part of the house are you located in right now? Oh, okay. All right. All right. We'll see you in a bit. Love you. Okay.
I'm in the East Wing, darling.
Uh, it's like
Oh my
sometimes.
god, I was going to say the same thing.
What's up?
I happen to be in the East Wing. I'll
Oh,
be there shortly. 10, 15 minutes tops. I'm walking.
yeah, right? I just couldn't believe that he was up there at the top of the staircase and the dog is blind and yipping and yipping and he's playing this classical Bach in the background on the sound system. And I'm like, dude, I know you're autistic, but come on, have some sensibilities. I'm trying to stream down here, man. It's gonna end my relationship. Oh. Okay, anyway. Uh home prices. Let's see, home prices. How many people out there are actually investing right now?
I'm
Serious.
not.
There was a point where we had a little bit of a bubble burst, just a little bit of a bubble burst, and it was about like 2 months ago. It might have been a good time to invest in some real estate. Now I'm thinking with what's going on with the Biden administration and what's going on with the Federal Reserve, now is probably not the time to lock in a rate. But let me see what the mortgage rates are at this moment. Mortgage rates today. Let's see. Today's rates from Bank of America. Let's see. What? I can't get. Are you serious? I can't get. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's see. 55419. Let's do Minneapolis. Update rates. Good Lord.
For the 8?
They have increased, like just in Minneapolis alone. It was just around like 1.7% just about like a year ago. They don't even offer a 10-year mortgage on this unless it's an adjustable rate mortgage. Holy shit. They're up to 5.4 and 6.3 on a 30. Oh my word. Okay, well we bought it the correct time. Mortgage rates are increasing, but didn't we see just a few months back that one bank, which was like, we're removing qualification restrictions from underserved communities,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
all of
they're
a
doing
sudden
that.
they jack the rates up after locking people in, and you know that the people in the underserved communities are probably by and large not working on a fixed rate mortgage, so they're working on balloon payments and adjustable rate mortgages. 2 years from now, perhaps 3, we're going to see a whole bunch of people defaulting on their real estate loans. And then we're going to get slammed into a further reset. Oh, Lordy.
Wait, like we did in 07, 08?
2008. Yeah, 2007. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's the same playbook.
But it's gonna be even deeper. It's like, ugh, and yes, Feisty and Matt. Let's see, let's review
Yep.
this. Okay, so Matt's concerned that I'm doxing myself a lot today, ugh, and then Feisty was like, Kevin doesn't care. Feisty, you know me, I so don't care. It's like, come at me. It's like life is a buffet of experiences, and I'm a wacky individual. I say bring it. Besides, I still have intersections. I still have my I have my gay card. I still kind of have a tranny card. My disability
You
card.
still got a tranny card. Sorry.
I still have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't have
Yeah,
the parts.
that's
Yep.
never gonna.
You always have a tranny card.
Yeah, I always
It's
have a
never
tranny
gonna
card.
change.
It's like the reason why
It's
I'm
never
wearing
gonna
plaid.
change.
The reason why I'm wearing plaid is so you don't see these. Just like, yes, because the plaid breaks up the pattern of these. So yes. God. And then I'm not gonna
My
go.
wife's got D's, and no, it really doesn't.
What's up?
My wife's got D's. D cup.
D's. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
What
V-cup
is-
breasts. So yeah,
Yes.
plaid doesn't break them up very much. It just kind of makes the whole chest look big.
Well, I was, you're
You look good, though.
you're right. The plaid's okay. Mine's yeah. I'm not going to talk about my cup size, but I will say this: I wear the plaid, and if you notice, the undershirt always changes daily. So don't think I'm just wearing the same outfit every day. I just throw this on because I'm fucking cold, and because I'm cold, my nipples are hard, and I don't want y'all seeing my hard nips. So yes, that's what's going on with that. And then
You'll never see them from the road. It's fine.
well, I've had people comment on them while I'm walking down the sidewalk. So anyway, it's always a joy when you're like just minding your own business and somebody says, "Hey, nice tits." It's like, I kind of get it. I kind of get it now. I kind of get it. But
Yeah.
yes, there was this one time I was doing a
If
stream
I
where I
had a
was
dime.
what?
If I had a dime.
For every time
for
somebody
every
said
time
nice
someone
tits?
said nice tits, yeah.
How many packs of gum would you be able to buy?
A lot.
Okay. So
Well, I've had moods
The
forever. So
factory.
I've gotten it regularly.
you get told that you have nice tits, King?
I got a nice rack. This is Jameson.
Oh, Jamison.
used to.
Jamison, what are you doing in here?
I dropped 100 pounds. So do I sound like Maine?
Hold on. No. Where? Oh my lord. Salty Man Jamison, I don't think I've ever had you in here.
He's
No, I
been
haven't
here.
popped in. I'm sick today.
Oh. Do you have the coof?
No.
Okay.
Would it matter?
Hmm?
Would it matter?
No. No, I would say get
Okay.
out. I would say get here. This is what would happen here. Let me see. Let's see.
No, see, last week I think like 451 had it, and the week before RDR had it, and I think I got it from 451.
Okay. Well, if you had the coof, I think that this video can show shit, not this one. Let me see. I'm glad you guys all survived because it was supposed to be illness and death if you got it. But here we go. Because this is what would happen if I was an asshole.
Don't do it! Emerson, pick up my water! Aaron! You're going to fucking go to jail! Please stop! My back is killing you! Please stop! Please stop! Please stop! Come on!
We can hear it past you.
I'm not getting on.
What the fuck was that? I've only heard that kind of shit at the family reunions when we're all at the freaking dance hall and somebody's had way too many sours. Okay, so what was going on here? Is there a description? This guy's in a mask. Okay, guy with a mask got mad because some guy walked too close to him without wearing a mask. For real? I need an expansion on this video. I need more context. Because that's what I was saying though. It's like you asked would it matter if you had the coof? And I was like, well, not to me, but maybe to this guy it would. Apparently, there are some assholes out there, like some real... And like, why, sir? Why? You could have been like so pleasant, but instead you had to like, I don't know. I need more context. I need more context. So, backing up. The plaid.
Feisty knows. You want to step on that? Let's step. Bring it, bitch.
Oh, Feisty would also bring a very lovely cake. Have you seen Feisty's cakes? Have you
No.
seen Feisty's cakes?
I don't believe I have. No.
Feisty, would you please throw the cakes you made just recently up into the chat, please, so people can see Feisty's cakes because they are so cute. But the plaid breaks up the pattern. Do I still have a tranny card? Okay, somebody says I do. I think it was Callie who said I still have a tranny card. Well, the bottom surgery will prove that, yeah, I was a tranny at one time. Okay. Oh, thank you, Feisty. So, come at me. Dox me, whatever. It's like, I'm okay with that, Matt. Matt, it's okay. Let's see. Shown 3 emails. Did I show... Oh, yeah. Emails is... Well, those emails are all about the tranny. Zip code is in Minneapolis. I'm not even located anywhere remotely close to Minneapolis any longer. What's going on back there? What's up?
451's back.
451 is... And then 45... Kelly, you scared him away.
I know. What the heck?
Oh,
There. No.
Wait. Yep, there he is. Okay, there's 45. Who do we all have in here? Okay, so
Oh, hell, you.
you guys are probably in the game world right now. Let's go and take like a quick break from the news for just a
I
moment.
built
and
a
see.
oxygen farm.
You're building an oxygen farm?
Built one.
Let's go and take a peek at what the guys are doing currently in Chaos World.
I was looking at building one yesterday, but I couldn't figure out where to attach it. Like
I put it
how
right
would
on
work.
top of the oxygen tanks.
Oh my
I
gosh,
cut
look
out
at
the
those
glass
guys.
and put it right on top of them. So there's 6 of them up there. There's the last one.
All right, I'm going to come out and take a peek at what you guys are doing. If I can get my keyboard to work. Okay, so watch this gas escaping. What am I? Oh, of course. You know, I'm fat fingering my keyboard, whatever. All right, letting... What the hell? Am I having a stroke? Where's the oxygen farm?
On top
Apparently.
of this building.
Okay, see... Okay, so this is the Wait a minute, that's a vehicle. You're making a big-ass rover of some sort over there. Okay, so Trucker is making a vehicle, and I am like... Look at me, I can't even fly correctly. I fly as straight as my sexuality allows. Where the hell are you? Is this you? 45-1 actual. Okay, there you are. Okay, you're in the inventory. Hi. All right.
Hello.
Oh. What does this do?
Produces oxygen with plants.
Oh. Look at that. Is that marijuana?
Yeah.
Is that marijuana? Is that
Probably.
that? It's probably marijuana. Okay, because we need a little bit of that. I should go take an edible. Look at those cakes. That's what I should do before the end of the show. I should go and like play a little Space Ghost and go to my fridge and get something special.
I wish we could find the full episode of Old Kentucky Shark because it's worth it.
Well, I will try to bring that up at some point, perhaps. Let's see where the show goes. All right, so I'm going to exit the game, free up some processing power and some bandwidth, and then head back on over to the news. That is so cool. Space engineers. So, at the same time that we're having the news and we're having space engineers... What's up? Okay. And Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy cakes. Those are, if I remember correctly, what is that? When you mix the powdered sugar together with the other stuff. Fondant. If I am correct, that is fondant, which Feisty Ace has placed on cakes. And look at the coloration of that fondant. Feisty, wow. You have a really good eye for color, I have to say. That is fantastic. All right. So
Does she do cakes for business?
I don't know, but I would totally buy them.
Should.
She probably should.
I want a Pepe cake.
Right?
A Pepe
you got the
cake.
Kermit. You got Kermit down already. Just make it Pepify it and sell it. Heck yeah.
Exactly.
Does anyone have a trademark on the Pepe?
No.
Feisty, since it's not trademarked, you could totally like make Pepe cakes. They would sell. I'd buy a fucking Pepe cake. It wouldn't be a seasonal thing either. I'd buy one just for the fuck of it, just to have it on the counter. Anyway, here we go. Oh, where are we going, you might ask? I don't know. It's part of the chaos. All right, what time is it? 8:43. Wow. All right. New York City seeks to make it harder for businesses to fire workers. Oh, no. Why? What if they're fucking off? Here, let's see. What is the story about? A New York City Democratic councilwoman has proposed a new law that would make it harder for all city employees to fire workers, requiring they have a good reason to do so. What's a good reason? Let's see. Okay. On Twitter, Cabin said, so if I go over to Twitter to actually get the sauce. Oh! Council member Tiffany Caban. Okay, so let's find out. I've met New Yorkers who have endured horrific abuse at work and stayed silent because they're afraid of getting fired. Under the current system, supposedly illegal discriminatory firings are rampant. Workers are getting a raw deal under the status quo. We're changing that. Well, let's see. Is this a video? It's an image. Well, could we hear your grievances? I'd like to hear your fucking grievances. Because currently... Oh, wait a minute. Is this... Moments ago, I spoke to Brittany Griner. She is safe. She is on a plane. She is on her way home. Who the fuck is this? Okay, so that has nothing to do with that story. I don't know how Twitter works. Anyway, I was hoping that we could get a video of what's going on in New York so we could, like, actually hear what the grievances are, because this story so far doesn't tell me what exactly is going on. Discriminatory firings are rampant. So, I've met New Yorkers who have endured horrific abuse at work and stayed silent because they're afraid of getting fired. Under the current system, supposedly illegal discriminatory firings are rampant. Okay, I already read that. Now, why would I have read that? Was that like, it's almost like it was listed twice. Okay. The bill comes at a time of soaring inflation across the country. Okay, so part of it is monetarily driven. They don't want to fire people because of soaring inflation. Because if you increase the number of unemployed people, then it really hurts the Democratic playbook, because it's going to increase the amount of social services needed to handle the people who are out of work. So they figure, okay, well, we'll just keep people. Now I'm being biased.
So how many people are on food stamps now as compared to maybe 2 or 3 years ago?
Well, I don't know, but I will say this. I know that people who actually have merit and skill have been replaced with people who have a lower skill set.
Diversity.
Or because of diversity.
Shitbags.
It's this equity, diversity stuff, and I have...
Here,
I come from a time it didn't matter what your skin color was. It doesn't matter what your genitalia was. Okay, it didn't matter in my lifetime what that shit was. This is all a recent development. What I have seen is I've seen a lot of people who are really good at their jobs get laid off to make room for someone else who doesn't know what they are doing. I went to fucking Dairy Queen and actually my husband went to Dairy Queen to get me a Blizzard, okay? A German chocolate Blizzard. Very simple. There's a bit of chocolate, there are some pecans, and there's some coconut. What does he come home with? He comes home with a small soft serve, and it's in a Blizzard cup because the employee didn't know how to make a German chocolate Blizzard.
Nice.
So instead of making it, the employee just filled a small cup with the vanilla whatever stuff they pick up off the floor, gave it to my husband, and because my husband's a liberal progressive, he didn't bother to look at what was in the cup. He just assumed. He trusted the science of Dairy Queen.
I feel bad because I do that to my wife sometimes.
Don't do
Trusted
that.
the science of Dairy Queen.
Right?
Diversity fires.
Oh no, if I go through for my wife and it's wrong in the drive-thru, I will get out of the car and go talk to somebody.
Thank
yeah,
you.
you don't want to deal with your wife bringing her the wrong thing, right?
I don't go
ever, right?
It's more I paid for something. I purchased the service. I purchased something, and it should be the way I requested or expected.
That's
right.
what
It needs to
service
get corrected
is.
or I need my money back.
That's salty Mad Jameson right there. What's up, dude?
What's up? I'm sick today, so I can, join the chaotic coffee chat.
I'm so happy that you're here. I'm sad that you're... Well, no, I'm not sad. I'm concerned that you're sick, but you sound like you're still kicking, so that's something.
So
Welcome
over
Yeah.
here,
to the
we're
sick club.
If it's bad, you wouldn't be hearing from me.
in
Right?
California, they're trying to make us feel sorry for the H-1B ones that have to go back after the, tech layoffs.
Is it working?
Like, we're supposed to worry about them.
Oh.
They can go back to India and they're rich. They can go back there. They're going to be richer than rich. And they know. There's a documentary, too, on the Indians talking about how they feel bad for us because we can't go. We don't have a country to go back to. We're already in our country. They know.
Look at this shit I just pulled out of the Epoch Times. Wow, I'm really liking the Epoch Times. I'm really looking forward to this interview with their journalist because the Epoch Times appears to know what they're doing. Now, I haven't been exposed to them enough, and just like everything in life, eventually I'll be disappointed. But today, I'm not so disappointed with them. I'm not disappointed yet. But look at this shit. Google, Oracle, Amazon, and Microsoft awarded a $9 billion cloud deal from the Pentagon?
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
Do I really need to go any further?
Well, Amazon's paying $2 a month to be able to access the information on your phone or something now. I don't know what that's about.
Get more information, Callie. Where is it? Do it. What is it? What's going on?
I just look at this ridiculous stuff and my eyes roll back in my head, and I'm just like, oh, Jesus, Lord, help us. I don't even know. That's all I don't even want to know anymore.
Oh, but we do want to know. We do. So the Department of Defense said the expected completion date is June 8th, 2028. Okay, that's so interesting. The deal will bring the military more in line with private sector. Why does the military need to be more in line with private sector companies?
What the fuck?
Which generally opt for a I'm stabbing my fingernail into my earlobe. Anyway, I need to get my hand away from my face before I pull my skin off. The deal will... I'll peel my fucking face like an orange. The deal will bring the military more in line with private sector companies, which generally opt for a multi-cloud approach, split among multiple vendors, as opposed to relying on the single vendor or company. This helps reduce the risks of potential network disruptions. So putting all your eggs in one basket is somehow going to reduce your risk? Okay.
Fuck the cloud.
Wow. Okay, so JWCC, Joint Warfighting Cloud Compatibility. Joint Warfighting Cloud Capability is a successor to the multi-billion-dollar cloud computing project JEDI. Mind tricks. Anyway.
What happened to net neutrality, man? That's not neutral.
Well, it's just the idea that what in the hell is going on that, let's see, it's, okay, I get Google, Microsoft, and Oracle being lined up with the DoD. I get that. But why Amazon? Careful if you're buying a dildo in 2028. You'll put that thing in and it will end your life. It will shoot a missile to your brain from your vag or your ass. You're going to be dead.
Evan, did you see my the Project Veritas video from last night? Did you see that?
Veritas video from last night. Hold on. Thinking.
It wasn't
during your show. It wasn't during your show.
It came out last night, and it had over 1 million views in 2 hours.
Do you have a link?
Yeah,
wow.
Let me grab.
Good job. Nice.
This is what happens when you pray, guys. This is what happens when you pray.
I need a meme of Kevin with an orange head and him peeling his face off.
Hold on.
I want a meme.
Hold on.
It has 3.3 million views
orange
now
head
on
with
Twitter.
orange.
There we go.
Head peeling your face off.
Let's see. Can I do it? Okay, I'm gonna get to the link. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
No, work your way there. It doesn't have anything to do with the Pentagon. It's just.
That's hilarious.
All right, I'm grabbing the link. Thank you, 45. And as far as like working my way there, I think I'm done with that news story. I think I'm done with that news story.
It's a pedophile thing.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, here we go. This is the reaction portion. All right, let's see. Joseph Bruno, Dean of Students at a Chicago high school, caught on camera bragging about providing his students with dildos and butt plugs. Hold on.
What are they doing with dildos and butt plugs?
Giving them to students in a private school, telling them how to use
them. College students?
No.
Underage. Oh, no.
The kids are learning to play with them, looking at them like they're like, oh my gosh, how does this... No! Okay, fine.
My job.
Parents might be... Fine. Wait a minute. 45, are you featured in this video? Like, are you...
No.
Okay, so you're not breaking the story.
I'm not involved. No. This is just... Project Veritas put it out, and I shared it about 10 seconds after they posted it. I just happened to catch it, and I shared it out, and it got shared out a shit ton of times by everybody else, obviously, but it hit 3.3 million views already.
Well, now it's going to be shared out in this broadcast as well, so here we go. Thank you.
I had like our LGBTQ plus health center come in. They were passing around butt plugs and dildos to my students, talking about queer sex, using lube versus using spit.
Meet Joe Bruno, Dean of Students at the prestigious Francis W. Parker Private School in Chicago, which happens to charge $40,000 per student.
They're just like passing around dildos, butt plugs. The kids are just playing with them. They're like, how does this butt plug work? How does this work? That's a really cool part of my job.
Parents might be stunned to learn that Bruno's version of love and acceptance means handing out sex toys to underage students.
So I've been the dean for 4 years. During Pride, we do a Pride Week every year, and I had like our LGBTQ plus health center come in. They were passing around butt plugs and dildos to my students, talking about queer sex, using lube versus using spit.
Who is this?
This is an LGBTQ plus health center came in to talk to my high school students. They're just like passing around dildos, butt plugs. The kids are just playing with them.
No, they show you
just
like little
repeats it.
clips in the beginning,
Okay.
and then they show you the whole thing.
Yeah, what's the deal with glue? I've never heard of having glue in
Lube.
my sexual
He
organs.
said using lube instead of spit.
Oh, lube.
Oh, I'm
Open
sorry.
your ear holes.
Oh my God, I was starting to freak out.
No, as if like passing out this stuff
Yeah,
to
it
kids
doesn't make
isn't
it
enough
any
to freak out
better.
about.
Don't start the rumor that they're using glue. Oh, good Lord, have mercy.
No, it's lube. And here, I want to show you guys something. Watch his legs. Watch what he does with his hands too. When he starts talking about this stuff. Here, let me get to the point where
He's
he like
shaking.
watch what he does with his hands and how he adjusts himself. Hold on, watch.
Sex, using lube versus using spit.
Meet Joe Bruno, Dean of Students.
Students talking about queer sex, using lube. We were passing around butt plugs and dildos. Plus health center come in. They were passing.
School in Chicago. No, Dean of Students.
The kids are just playing with them. They're like, how does this butt plug work? How do we do how does this work?
I know what he's doing. I know what he's doing at that point because I remember when I used to be able to get erections and stuff like that when I had the proper anatomy. I know what he's doing. He's sexually aroused by this conversation. He is fucking sexually aroused by this conversation. Because I remember my male physiology, and I did not get off on this shit, that's for fucking sure. But I remember...
Hence my caption.
What is your Here, hold on. What is your caption?
Send that motherfucker through the wood chipper.
Well, yeah, definitely put him through a wood chipper. Okay, I don't think we need to watch much more of this deviant. I think we get, like, the point here. He
admits that he doesn't tell his supervisors because they'd be totally cool with it.
Oh, fuck. Okay, fine. I'm going to play it. How long is this? Fuck it. I'm going to play
really,
it.
like, cool part of my job.
Parents might be stunned to learn that Bruno's version of love and acceptance means handing out sex toys to underage students.
So I've been the dean for 4 years. During Pride, we do a Pride Week every year. And I had like our LGBTQ plus health center come in. They were passing around butt plugs and dildos to my students, talking about queer sex, using lube versus using spit.
Who is this?
This is an LGBTQ plus health center came in to talk to my high school students. They're just like passing around dildos, butt plugs. The kids are just playing with them, looking at them.
In the school?
In a classroom.
Wow.
Yeah. While I'm sitting there. Then we had a drag queen come in, pass out cookies and brownies and do photos.
That's so amazing. And everybody's cool with that, like the butt plugs and the dildos. Nobody complains.
No.
I mean, if the parents found out, would they?
No. It's queer sex. This is the drag queen that came in.
What's her name?
Alexis Bevels.
Alexis Bevels.
And just hung out in my classroom.
And was there?
Or hung out in my office.
You have so much freedom. And so much wiggle room.
So much freedom. So much money.
I mean, having
to do stuff.
Trustees are okay with that too? They don't know.
They would. It's like I wouldn't even like run it by them. Like, why would I run it by them? They would be like, oh my God, that's wonderful.
Why would I run it by them? Gee, I wonder, you fucking predator.
That's a private school.
Yes, it is a private school in Chicago. $40,000 a year, and they're handing your kid out a dildo and a butt plug.
So I'm guessing they're not court-mandated reporters.
This is what you get for having Beetlejuice as the mayor?
Yep.
Holy cow.
I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it. If you get shot in the head, sir, I'm not going to be surprised. I'm not going to be surprised if somebody were to shoot you. I wouldn't be surprised if I heard Maxine Waters talking about people getting out there and getting in your face. I wouldn't be surprised if I heard someone saying that you're not welcome here, sir. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to use some energy. I'm going to use some Democratic Party energy on you, sir. I wouldn't be surprised.
I just, in a public school, if they were doing that, one of the social workers, somebody would have to report it. You would have to freaking report it. Otherwise,
In any situation, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter if it's public or private. It's like any situation.
I don't know if they're court mandated reporters in private schools.
It's pedophilia.
I get that.
It's grooming. Oh my word.
I get it.
Oh.
Disgusting.
Oh, it's.
I don't know. Yeah, the parent. Yeah, doing.
45. Do these? Oh my gosh. No, I did not see that. I did not see that from Project Veritas.
Yeah.
You know what?
I'm gonna cover it tomorrow, but I hadn't heard you say anything about it, and it's pretty explosive. Obviously, I mean, like I said, fucking they released that. I don't remember what time last night. It's pretty late. And 3.3 million views already, dude.
Wow.
That's the power of the new Twitter.
You know what?
13 hours. 3.3 million views.
Let me see if I can go back to that. Because
dude, that's a lot. That's a fucking lot of views.
Let me go back to that and just see if I still have it. Yeah, Twitter. Because you know what? Why not add more? How do I retweet this? Do I just hit this button right here?
Hold on.
Is it this one?
Yeah, you can quote tweet too. So if you want to write something about it, you can do the quote tweet and then, write your little blurb up there.
You're not welcome here. Maxine Waters. There. That's okay. That's sick. That is so sick. All right, so moving on from that sexual deviance and holy shit. The parents probably don't even know.
They do now.
Well, they better find out because that guy should not be around children. That's as bad as this other story I have about this. This was dropped yesterday, but it's a former Gainesville daycare worker sentenced to 120 years for producing child porn. He is a daycare worker put in charge of keeping kids safe while the parents are out, trying to make a living. And he's in the middle. Maybe I'll get to it. Fuck it. I've got the same energy. It's just not going to be on Jitsi. This dude, Trevor Alec Hurubi, 23, was charged with sexual abuse of a victim under 12 years old. But it wasn't just one victim under 12 years old. This is from December 6th, Gainesville, Florida. Okay? My brain is misfiring right now. But,
Gainesville's a liberal shithole, by the way.
Well, he worked at a place called A Child's Dream. He is sentenced to 120 years in prison after prosecutors say he sexually victimized and photographed numerous children under his supervision while he was working at a daycare. 2 of the victims were just 3 years old.
I'd strangle that fuck.
Yep.
Sick fucker.
I wouldn't make it out of the courtroom, I can tell you that.
I am so done with these people saying, oh, don't call them groomers, don't call them pedophiles. It's like, no, they're sick bastards. They're sick
I call them
motherfuckers.
Fertilizer.
They need to be removed from polite society, and if not, God help me, God help me, God help me, God help me see the truth. God help me see the truth. God help me. God.
We all have thoughts. We all have thoughts of what a perfect torture for that person would be.
I don't want the person tortured.
Understandable. Because
Curling. I suggest the curling iron butt plug.
Yeah, something.
Jesus,
permanently.
Jesus Christ.
God help him. God help us.
Jesus Christ, to your Father, let your justice. I know that I am going to be in pain when your judgment comes. I know that I am imperfect and I am a sinner. And I know all sin. Oh, I've been taught all sins are equal. Please don't tell me I'm the same as this guy. But if I am, oh my Lord, I am so sorry. Oh my gosh. How do you repent? How do you repent at that level?
Forgiveness.
Jesus blood.
Sucks. It sucks, man. It's a sucky cycle to be in.
Well, but to be on the same level, if spiritually, if I'm on the same, it's like, and there we go, judgment. Okay, I can feel it. I can feel it. Just, Holy Spirit, help me. Holy Spirit, help me. Holy Spirit, help me. Guide me through this shit. Oh, my Lord, help me over the fence. Okay. So,
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. I mean, really, thank you, dude. You did a lot.
Maria the dildo dipper. Oh no.
Oh, that's got to be Photoshop. Oh, it's not though, because that's how they put the pink glands on the penis of the. Wait, Rocky, I thought you were on the road. Rocky, have you not left? Yes, have them euthanized. Exactly. Thank you. All right, so Biden. You know what? Hold on. It is 9:05. I'm gonna do this story, and then I'm gonna go back to Space Ghost and try to find that. Is it the Kentucky version?
Old Kentucky Shark.
Kentucky Shark. They're not 1/2 hour segments. Space Ghost only runs in like 10 and 15-minute vignettes.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can find that one. Let's see. Biden signs. You know what? As a matter of fact,
Brace
do
yourself.
you know which episode it is? Continue with this. Biden signs bill to limit enforcement of sexual harassment NDAs. Are you for real? Are you for real? To limit the enforcement of sexual... Is it because Biden? Is it because you harassed? Is it because of... What's her name? Who's the woman? Oh, look at that. It already completed. Wow. Let me go on over here and kill that. It's only a 43 megabyte.
They
file.
just don't want age to mean anything. They don't want age or gender to mean anything. They want you all the same. Communism.
All right, I just signed the Speak Out. Let me see, is this a video? I don't think it's a video. I just signed the Speak Out Act, a bill that enables survivors to speak out about workplace sexual assault and harassment and increase access to justice. Well, what about the person who like, you know, you assaulted and then she underwent all this bullshit. She was like threatened. Who is that woman?
Tara Reid.
Tara Reid. Tara Reid, I mean, she just came out. Was she not just over this last weekend on Twitter doing an interview where she explained exactly what happened after Biden sexually assaulted her and what I don't even know like which departments it was, but she was told to shut her mouth.
And her story has been exactly the same since the start.
Right, it hasn't deviated.
25 years? 30 years now? Jeez, it's been a while.
So the Speak Out Act comes 5 years after the onset of the Me Too movement, a social movement that involves people publicly sharing their experiences of sexual assault. So where in this article does it talk about Tara? It talks about Tara Reid over here. Tara Reid told the truth, and as usual, Biden lied. That's from 24 minutes ago. How do I access this story? Okay, so Biden signs Biden. Okay, parents opposing. Warnock, Katie Hobbs. How do I get to the Tara Reid story? I don't know how to navigate this. I don't know what this is over here. Okay, oh, this is a comments section. Tara Reid told the truth, and as usual, Biden lied. Clearly, Comrade Joe has a wear flame-proof pants. Has to wear flame-proof pants. Oh, because his pants are on fire. I didn't realize that this was a comment section over here. I thought this was a related articles column over here. So anyway, that's just crazy that Biden's all like, oh yeah, I'm all about like, you know, protecting people from like sexual assault and stuff like that. Dude, you have done it over and over and over, and all the touching of the kids as well. You, sir, are the problem. So let me see. Let's go on over to my downloads area, and let's see, where is my secondary hard drive?
Are you saying a Democrat is deflecting?
I am saying that these articles are not congruent with reality.
I mean, they wear different glasses than we do.
Oh.
They don't see these things. I think they are. I. Yep. Yep.
Is that what you say? Let me see something here. Where did I put the Space Ghost stuff? I see that DJ Brandrak has come on in. And what are you dropping over here, DJ Brandrak? Let me copy your link address. Hold on, before we go and take like a break. Oh, Biden, you asshole. Alright, let's see. That's a 32-minute... What are you doing here? DJ Brandrak presents the Mothership Season 0 episode... Well, that didn't... A practice show? I'm going to flame. I'm going to leave a flame. But what do you mean a practice show? Oh! Okay, yeah. I promote. That's true. Here, let me go and put that link into a holding area because I'm actually going to be doing Space Ghost. So let me just go and throw that over there, and then let me bring in another link over here. And again, Susan, this is all about education and stuff, so calm down. It's like we already saw what you allow on your platform with Ryan TV, so just calm your tits. All right, let me get this URL and place it over into the proper area. And I'm gonna go take a little break.
Greetings. Well, no bees are gonna get in here. Not in my airtight fortress.
Yeah, well, all the windows are cracked open.
Hey, man, crack a window open. Oh, no! To the creek. Let's talk about what went wrong with tonight's show. Okay, first off, who invited Willie?
You know, I left my jacket back there.
Moltar, it's gone. Long gone.
I still laugh at the entire thing. I must have seen that 1,000 times.
Isn't that the shark from 12-Ounce Mouse?
I don't know. Usually it's just stuff from the old Space Ghost cartoon, and they just kind of cut it out and put it in there like a meme.
I miss 12-Ounce Mouse. That guy was awesome.
What the... I have never seen 12-Ounce Mouse, but I think that is the shark from... It looks like the same animation style and drawing style of 12-Ounce Mouse. So I think that might be it. And good morning.
Oh, man, that was glorious.
Good morning.
That was a good laugh.
That was fun. All right, so lawmakers seek to end mandatory driver's ed in New Hampshire. I don't know where the story's going. If parents can homeschool their kids, they can teach. Well, yeah. Well, who the fuck do you think is... Okay. I know it's the Epoch Times. I'm going to show a little respect.
We are all going to die.
I'm going to show a little respect. I learned very little from my driver's ed classes and the simulator, otherwise known as the pressure cooker in high school. I learned so much more actually just learning how to drive a vehicle from my father while he held a can of Pabst, was it Pabst Blue Ribbon? He would drink in the passenger seat and I would drive around. I started in the farm, drove around on the gravel driveway and stuff like that. Parallel parked between a sawhorse and a cat that was dead. I had to learn because I ran it over accidentally. That's a lie. I didn't run over a cat, but I thought it might add some interest to the story. But anyway, I'm not one to go around telling lies. No, but he did have me practice parallel parking between two sawhorses, and he was drinking. That's the truth. I learned much more about driving from my parents than I ever did from the actual sanctioned driver's ed training, and I did not get my driver's license the first time around, but it was said that the person at the DMV in Wisconsin, I think her name was Joni. Her name was Joni. Joni was a very severe dyke, and she did not like men at all. She would pass the women no problem, but the men, the boys, like male. She just had an aversion towards males. If you got Joni and if you were a male, you were not getting your license the first time around. Sometimes she'd even fail you the second time around. It didn't matter. Anyway, I got my license on the second time around. Fatal crashes, what the hell does sexual assaults have? Fatal crashes, sexual assaults, and escalating costs are driving some states to end mandatory driver's ed for teens. What in the world? How do we get from fatal crashes to sexual assaults when we're talking about driver's ed? Anyway, anyone know how that relates? Lawmakers say it only is logical for parents to teach their children to drive instead of paying out big dollars for a stranger to do the job. Yeah. I don't understand why you wouldn't be teaching your kid how to drive. I mean, traditionally, isn't that how kids learn how to drive? If parents and families can homeschool their kids in academic subjects, they can also teach them how to drive. State Rep Michael Moffat told the Epoch Times. The Republican lawmaker is a primary sponsor of a House bill in New England state to end the mandatory driver's ed. Okay, I don't know why this wouldn't be like common sense. So apparently in New Hampshire, it was mandatory that a youth take a state-sanctioned driver's ed class. So good. All right. If the bill passes, New Hampshire will join the growing ranks of states that have already put the responsibility of teaching kids how to drive in the hands of their parents. Well, one would think that if the parent has the insurance policy, that, yeah, they would be the ones teaching. Because, that is a lot to put on. Is it a school? Are they still teaching driver's ed in school, or is that a thing of the past? Because I don't think when Bruce and I were serving on the Minneapolis Foundation for the high school out in that area, I don't think they had driver's ed like on campus. I think you had to go to a third party to
You
get
have to
driver's ed.
pay they have private companies now that you pay. You can.
Well,
you have to pay.
Well, are there too many white mics in driver's ed? I wonder. Drunken Rocky, something we can investigate later. Maybe someday, and by the way, Drunken Rocky, maybe someday you and I can go out and have a beer too. So, because I've heard that Drunken Rocky is a beer connoisseur. So anyway. Oh, driving schools and organizations like AAA are opposed to repealing mandatory driver's ed for teens, pointing out that the cars used in driver's ed are equipped with passenger side brakes instructors can use and other safety mechanisms that family cars don't have. That's true. I mean, yeah, they do have the passenger brake. Oh, I have mixed feelings on that. It's like I much preferred to having my parents teach me how to drive versus that guy. Who was that teacher? I don't remember his name. It's not that would matter. None of you would know him. But if I wasn't turning the wheel sharply enough for him, he would start going like turn, 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 turn. It's like you're yelling at me and I'm trying to fucking drive in Wisconsin Rapids. And there are a lot of drunks already by 10 o'clock in the morning. I really don't need you yelling at me while I'm trying.
This was the source of a recent fight I don't say a fight, but a fucking nag that I got.
Go.
Because I was trying to merge into Temple traffic, and there was a traffic jam, and so the truck in front of me, it was a semi. There was a semi on the highway gonna let him in and left like plenty of room. So I squeezed in behind him. I wasn't following like a really unsafe distance, but I was closer than I would normally follow because we were going like 2 miles an hour. Okay. So I like squeezed in, and so the other semi, closed in behind me because he didn't want to let anybody else in. And so my soon-to-be ex-wife goes, "You're making me nervous," like loud as shit. And I said, that doesn't really help anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to concentrate on all this fucking Mario Kart bullshit that's going on. Just like, I've never gotten us into a crash ever. We did 86 hours of road trip around the country and through Canada. And not once, I drove the entire time. About 95% of the time I drove. And not once did I get us in an accident? She had a history of accidents, including choosing to ignore a left turn yield yellow arrow and get smashed into by a fucking Jaguar of all cars.
Oh, with the most uncomfortable back seats, might I add, but go on.
Yeah, and so anyway, I was like, you're not really helping anything by doing that. Like, I'm trying to concentrate. I didn't have the radio on, nothing. Everybody else in the car is quiet. She goes, "You're making me nervous." And I'm like, well, everything is fine. We're barely moving. I'm squeezing into traffic so we can get home. Can you not? And she's like, "I should be able to voice my opinion." I was like, it doesn't help anything.
While you're driving.
Right, while I'm driving. You're giving me another distraction while I'm trying to drive. Like, just chill the fuck out. So she didn't like that. So there you go.
Well, here's something you might like. While that incident happened in your past, look at your future.
I know.
Do you see this?
Drive however I want. Hold on.
Geminids meteor shower to peak mid-December.
Nice.
Perfect time to wish upon a Christmas shooting star. There you go, 45. It's coming up. With Christmas right around the corner, a yearly meteor shower spectacle presents a chance to make a wish upon a shooting star. Or grab your ankles and get ready for the rapture, because that might also be happening. Who knows? All right. The Geminids meteor shower occurs every mid-December. Every mid-December? Every mid-December? This is the first time hearing about the meteor shower happening every mid-December. Nominally lasting from November 19th through December 24th. What's up? Nominally lasting from November 19th through December 24th in 2022. And they are expected to peak around December 14th. You might also cite a fair number of December 13th. The Geminids are considered one of the most striking meteor showers of the year, rivaling the Perseids in August. And now, why is it the first time I'm hearing about these annual meteor showers? 45?
Yes.
Do we have annual meteor showers that I wasn't aware of?
Yes, we have like 3.
Yeah, they have like these fancy names. If you believe in space and you believe that the Earth is traveling around a large star,
Rick James,
then yes, we do pass through clouds of remnants of the creation of our solar system, and small pieces burn up in the atmosphere.
Well,
so
there we go.
Yes.
I learned something new. I've lived on this planet for over half a century, and I did not know that we have annual meteor showers.
So it's the Earth just kind of, as it wobbles and makes minor adjustments in its own orbit, because it's never really exactly the same. Everything drifts. I mean, the entire solar system is flying through space. We just kind of act like a little bit of a sweeper and just kind of take out some of the dust. So, and then of course, like other things can happen in the solar system that would cause more meteor showers to come in. Like, you got objects in the Oort cloud, which is, pretty far away, but that stuff's all out there moving too. And all it takes is a small bump, and then something's orbit gets changed and flies in. That's why we've been surprised a few times here in the recent history. I'd say probably 3 or 4 times in the past 5 years, we've had a large rock of some kind come whizzing by the planet, and we didn't see it until it was already passing by us or a couple of days out. And that has to do with a lot more solar activity. So the same reason why the planet is warming up, because we're in a high solar cycle right now, that solar energy pushes on rocks throughout our solar system too, and actually forces them to bump into each other. And so sometimes they make their way in towards the middle of the solar system when that happens. So there you go.
Well, speaking of solar, it looks like we're in the middle of a G1 geomagnetic storm at this time. Expect weak power grid fluctuations. With spacecraft operation, expect a minor impact on satellites, so your communications and such, and other systems. Migratory animals are affected at this and higher levels. The aurora is commonly visible at high latitudes, like northern Michigan and Maine. So, they might get a little treat tonight, considering minor G1 geomagnetic storms are possible today, December 8th, when a high-speed stream of solar wind is expected to hit Earth's magnetic field. So, for people in northern Michigan and Maine, you guys might have a light show tonight. Enjoy it. I know in Iceland they're definitely going to be having a nice light show. They are wonderful for light shows around this time of year. Oh, all right. So let's see. Going through natural immunity is best against Omicron. Well, who knew? I mean, after all these years,
Really?
who knew that natural
Just
immunity?
shocked.
Just the
I thought it all
shots.
came from a vial and a shot.
That's what we've been told, isn't it? It's like our immunity just comes from freaking science. No, it's like there's no biology. Last night we're watching these old classics on Tubi, but I wanted to show my husband that reaction video from yesterday, and while I was scrolling on over to YouTube, I noticed that the featured video in YouTube is a 20-second long video from the Health and Human Services Department of the government. It's about going out and getting more shots, just for COVID, right? Brought to you by your tax dollar at work. Just pushing and pushing and pushing this experimental therapy. Just stop. CDC recommends that everyone ages 5 and above get an updated bivalent. It's like the bivalent. I don't think bivalent means that it's the flu and COVID shot. Valences in atomic chemistry tend to deal with two elements coming together and then sharing. A bivalent would be that kind of thing. I wonder, I'm going to look up what exactly is a bivalent shot. Or just what does bivalent mean? Relating to or being a pair of homologous side-by-side chromosomes, especially during meiosis, a divalent, or an equivalent in combining or displacing power of two atoms of hydrogen. And that's what I was talking about. That would be like a dyad. But what is a bivalent? Well, let's go and look over here. The Food and Drug Administration on Thursday authorized the Pfizer, which is increasing its stock prices, by the way, and Moderna mRNA. Wow, I wonder, where was Moderna? If we go and do let's just do a 1 year. All right, so that was around the last time when they did the push. Let's do all. 2019, 2020, and it was right around 20. Oh, why didn't I buy? And then as you can see, after 2020, it just climbs, and it climbs, and it climbs. We're talking, it was around like $20, like 15 to 20. I knew I should have bought it. I had a sense when they mentioned that it's like, yes, I'm one of those kind of opportunists. I knew that the pharmaceuticals were going to increase. I talked about it on Axe Truth show, like about 2.5 years ago. When they started mentioning COVID, I was talking about genetic research and investing into genetic stock. I was not incorrect. $384 in mid-year 2021. And now we see that it's gone into a dip in around mid-year 2022, and now the stock price is increasing, and that's for Moderna. Tell me that this isn't planned. Tell me this isn't planned.
It's totally planned.
Tell me that Nancy Pelosi isn't in on this.
Totally.
Right? By the way, Finkelstein, I saw one of your recent videos. I believe I watched it yesterday, and I love the conversation. Love the conversation. But what the fuck was up with the chickens, man? It's like I have never seen that ritual, and the plastic sheets up on the fences, and all the stuff that was going on, and then they went and dumped all the chicken. It looked like chicken carcasses got dumped into a dump truck instead of being made into food. What was up with that video? Anyway, I liked it. I left a comment. So it's good to see you
Well, that's
today.
what they do is sacrifice too. Is they throw the animals in like rivers and stuff. That's another ritual that they were doing. They were throwing. I forgot what kind of animals it was. If it was goats, I think. And they sacrifice them, and then they just throw them down the river. And that was happening here in the U.S. I can't remember what state. Of course, I don't have the receipts, but yeah, crazy. It's crazy. Sacrificial animals. They don't eat them
That is nuts. And then
because
we've
they're
got
for the sacrifice.
people starving and stuff, and then ugh.
Yeah, but that's what they do. That's their religion. We're not all on the same timeline.
Let me open up
That's
this.
the big problem is that culture, timelines. There's 3 different timelines that I know of, and there's probably more than that.
Do you see this? DC Mayor Muriel Bowser refuses to allow January 6th political prisoner visitation, even computer visitation, after nearly 2 years in DC Gulag. Really? Muriel! Why must you be like that? What is up with that? How is that even legal to go and prevent people? Now, again, this is from the Gateway Pundit, and I've got a little bit of a raised eyebrow on Gateway Pundit because I trust them mostly, but I have found errors in their reporting, so I'm only going to take this with a grain of salt. But it might be a salty, salty, salty grain of salt. Okay? So, January 6th political prisoners detained in Washington, D.C. are calling on patriots to demand that D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser allow them visitation, even computer visitation with the... They should allow in-person visitation, and civil lawsuits need to be filed. Absolutely, DJ Brandrak. Yeah, I get that, Finkelstein. I get that she's being told what to do. However, it's not right. It is definitely not right. Considering, what have they actually found? They haven't even brought these people to trial yet. It's been 2 years. Instead, what are they doing? They're dealing with freaking Gretchen Whitmer and whatever, like, weird-ass contrived...
Because it's the process.
The process is supposed to be... What's up?
Well, okay, so, they label them as domestic terrorists, right?
Yeah.
And so that allows them to hold them for extended periods of time without a trial of any kind. So the way that these deep state dickheads work is it's not necessarily the end punishment or whatever you're going to get, because they can't fucking charge these guys for anything. They're holding on to the fucking footage because it shows that, the FBI fucking instigated all this shit, and they're holding these people to try and quelch any type of other, attempt to stand up for our rights, get out there and protest in mass, because that was really the last time that we've done it. And so what they do is they use the process, right? They drag these people financially, keeping lawyers,
as you all well know.
Hold on,
ruining
sorry.
their reputation.
Yes, go on. Yes.
And it's because they know at the end of the day they're not going to be able to hold them once they actually start the process. So it's this right here that they're using to punish them. They're going to ruin them financially. They're going to fucking continue to shit on them and make them feel weak. And again, it's to make all of us second guess going out there and stand up in mass. That's the whole point.
Yep.
They're being used as an example.
That is one shitty oh my gosh, though. Come on, man. Let me see what Salty Matt Jamison dropped
As
on
you
this.
all well know, patriots assembled on January 6th at the United States Capitol to peacefully protest a stolen election. Approximately 1 million liberty-loving Americans stood in unity and exercised their constitutional right to redress their grievances. Historically, the protest took a violent turn when Capitol police officers started inciting and brutalizing an unarmed crowd, even killing 4 defenseless American citizens on the steps of our own Capitol. Now, over 900 January 6ers and their families had been persecuted by the Biden regime and the FBI, violently arrested and abused and tortured in prison. Some spending over 20 months locked away in gulag-like conditions, political prisons inside our very own United States. They're being held without bond, visitations, haircuts, religious services, access to evidence and attorneys, and in many cases, complete solitary confinement. This atrocity highlights the two-tier justice system that villainizes conservative patriots and rewards career criminals. That's why we started the J6 Legal Fund to help retain competent conservative attorneys for our newest national heroes. J6 Legal Fund was created by J6 political prisoner Jake Lang to ensure full transparency in directing 100% of funds to legal costs. Not a single penny is wasted. In the next upcoming months, hundreds of J6 patriots will be standing trial against the full force of the corrupt Department of Justice and biased DC jury pools. The need for strong legal representation is greater now more than ever. That's where you come in. The J6 families are truly grateful for your generous support. Let's bring our men home. Please donate today, whatever God puts on your heart. Go to j6legal.org to make your donation. Thank you, and God bless America.
All right, I have a question on j6legal.org. I haven't ever heard of them before. What is that site we use to see where the funds are being? There's a transparency website we use. What is the name of that? Does anyone know?
I don't know offhanded. I can't actually vouch for J6 Legal Defense. I've looked into them.
j6legal.org. Transparency.
But it is the same YouTube that Jake Lang has been publishing from, or that we've been getting some videos from.
Advice on it. So let's see. I need to see the money, and it's not coming to my mind right now. But there is a website which I have used, and it's not bookmarked, and for some reason my memory. It's probably because of the damn menopause, by the way, guys. Freaking don't let your kids mess with hormones, because this is what happens. You end up getting menopause, then your brain doesn't work properly. But there is a website. Maybe it'll come to me later during this broadcast. Maybe it won't, but hopefully it does. And then we can go and follow the money on this. Oh my lord, Finkelstein, what are you doing? What is this? Okay, here, let me copy this and play it. Now, this is going to be interesting, because if this is a Moloch fillet, these are always very interesting. Oh, it's a Moloch fillet. One moment. Let me give this the big screen energy. All right, here we go. Let's take a look. You know what? Before I do, though, let me look at one thing, because the coffee's also kicking in. When the spectators finally get involved, the unrest tsunami is rolling in quicker than I ever imagined possible. Okay, here we go. Embiggen and go. Are the pauses intentional? I can't tell.
Like a rusty blade, throw away from an open grave. Cut you loose from a chain gang, and let you go. On the day you said it's true, some love vows, some gets used. Tried to tell you I never knew it could be so sweet. Who could ever be so cruel? Blame the devil for the things you do. Such a selfish way to lose, the way you lose these wasted blues, these wasted blues. But tell me that it's nobody's fault, nobody's fault but my own. Tell me that it's nobody's fault, nobody's fault but my own. Tell me that it's nobody's fault, nobody's fault but my own. Tell me that it's nobody's fault, nobody's fault but my own. When the moon is a counterfeit, better find one that fits. Better find one that lights the way for you. The road is full of nails, garbage pails, darkened jails. All the tongues are full of heartless tales that drain on you. Who could ever notice you? You fade into a shaded room. Such a selfish way to lose, the way you lose these wasted blues, these wasted blues.
Despite the difficulty of this and the pressure and the stress and the anxiety and the frustration, sadly none of that works against this virus.
But it seems like the Prime Minister wants to live in a permanent pandemic. Dr. Ham, Dr. Tam, Dr. Henry, Dr. Moore, Dr. Hinshaw, Dr. Shahab all agree it's time to shift out of the restrictions and back to normal life. So why is the Prime Minister so offside, not only with the science, but it would seem like with the growing number of his own MPs?
But tell me that it's nobody's fault, nobody's fault but my own. Tell me that it's nobody's fault, nobody's fault but my own. Tell me that it's nobody's fault, nobody's fault but my own.
Almost every time I watch a Moloch fillet video, I feel like my brain gains a number of new pathways, and I'll tell you why. It's because there are so many different visuals going on. There's typically several audio components, and they're unrelated to each other on not always, but most of the time I've found. They're unrelated in aspects. However, it's like Malik Flays is like a VJ, like, you know, a Victor Juliet, a video jockey. Along with the audio aspects of it, I feel like it almost forces my brain to rewire a little bit to take in everything that's happening all at once. So I heard Beck singing about like it's nobody's fault but my own. I am watching the video of people who look happy and complacent, and all of a sudden they're not. It's like there's rioting going on, and then there's the protests going on. At the same time, I'm looking over and I'm reading the chat. I'm seeing the conversation that's going on over here. And it is the inaction. It's the idea of, oh, let people, like for instance, the Antifa crowd, what I experienced in a personal level in Minneapolis. I told my kids not to participate. I told my stepkids not to participate. I told them what would happen if they did participate. I told them none of this would end well, and that they should probably let their friends know not to go and join this cause, even though they were thinking that it was for social justice because of George Floyd. All right? I said, you don't know George Floyd. You don't know what he was about. You don't know what you're supporting. You're just supporting a concept, and it might not even be a factual concept. It may be imaginary. It might be a fiction that you are currently about to go out and put yourself out there and physically manifest. So I did what I could do as a step-parent. What I wish would have happened is I wish my husband, who's the biological father of these kids, would have said, you're going to stay your ass at home. Okay? No. What did he do? He went and got my medical kit and gave it to the kids so they could provide medical aid to their, you know, comrades out there and shit. What the fuck? I did what I could. It wasn't enough to stop my stepkids from going out and participating in that bullshit. I am looking at what's going on in the chat right now with like complacency and conformicide. I get it. Yeah, no more tolerance. No more fucking tolerance. And I view this as a good and evil conflict. It's a spiritual battle. I'm not saying that is only a spiritual battle, because there's certainly a large amount of ego involved in what we're going through right now. So it can be more than one thing. I am saying that what I feel is that it is a spiritual battle. We are seeing the manifestation of spiritual energy at this point.
That's the perfect name for it. That's what Havoc, the metal band, called it, conformicide.
Yeah.
I think it's probably one of the most accurate terms for what has happened. We've just conformed and conformed and conformed, and they've moved the goalposts just slowly and slowly and slowly. We've all watched it happen. And we all laughed at it. We laughed it away, and then now it's fucking taking actual roots. I mean, that's conformicide.
Yeah. And it's like when you're in it, like coming from the left, I never thought it would ever get to this level.
That's exactly it.
Because we were told,
yeah, you hit it on the head right there.
We were just told, oh, we're just fighting for this cause, and then once we get this cause, we'll have equality. Every fucking time. It's like this. It's like they say, well, if we just fight for this cause, then we'll finally have equality. And it's like, okay, we're done, right? No. Let's grab something else.
I have to agree with you, Kevin. I'm not as spiritual as a lot of you, and I even see that it's a spiritual war. You know.
Well, they just keep on. They just keep on taking. It's like they
it's
just
good versus evil.
And take and take and take, and there is nothing good about constantly consuming. These are the people who consume the most, contribute the least, and destroy everything. Family, society, production, all this stuff. They don't know how. It's like they don't understand. Biden said it best when he's like, people didn't understand what not infrastructure, supply chains. It's like, yeah, certain people didn't understand what a supply chain was. I've known what a supply chain was because I grew up on a farm. But I think there was a morsel of truth to what Biden was saying, is that no one knew what a supply chain was 10 years ago, because I've met a lot of people who don't understand where eggs come from.
You want to see just how ridiculous it's going to get? These people have no idea. Look at this New York Times opinion that came out a little while ago.
One moment. Let me queue up.
Oh, boy. Yeah, do your thing.
I got this one queued up. Do you have it in the Jitsi?
Yeah, I just put it in the chat.
Okay, let me copy that one. We're gonna watch the next Moloch fillet, and then we're going to address this video, because I don't think I've commented it, nor have I given it a thumbs up yet. All right, here we go. Let me go back here. It's called BAM Edit, The Crackle of Change Between Empires. All right, here we go.
This is war. This is war. It's a war between good and evil. Which side are you on? Hey yo, I'm dumb and reckless, fighting in the trenches for those who can't fight back. The young and defenseless. They need a voice, so I'm the voice for those who can't speak. Going after children, man, these people are so weak. And you don't use abortion for a contraceptive. Keep your legs closed or you use protection. These females killing kids like it ain't no thing. And if they had a conscience, it would haunt their dreams. So God gave me the strength so I can fight back. Cause when they come at me sideways, I'll go on the attack. I'll fight back with this track. I'm only here to spit facts. The fact we move so far away from God, we need God back in our lives. See the signs when he taps you on the shoulder. I was raised Christian but wasn't listening. Public school then had me question religion. It makes me sick thinking back when I was in class. Brainwashing going on could lead someone down a dark path. It's only getting worse, the system's broke so big. I think you know that sound, that's the sound when we log in. I got my plaid battle axe, man I am so jacked. Brad chopping trees, call me a lumberjack. This disease invasive species trying to get close to seeds. Eliminate by all means. The shit that's going on needs to stop real quick. Little kids will grow up taking time bombs with short wicks. They'll be coming for you soon enough. Revenge with the vengeance. They'll do what you did to them, plus all the damage you inflicted on a child. You're a piece of shit. There's a special place in hell for those who prey on kids. Lord, give me the strength, cause Satan really wants to take me.
That was Brad Allen singing in the background. Finkelstein, did you add the video to that, or was that part of Brad Allen's original production?
Better give that motherfucker credit next time, or I'll cut you.
Let's see. Please? Okay, please. Okay, let's see. Taking Mr. Bond. Okay, da-da-da-da.
I remember him talking about it.
I tried Brad Allen music, working the rap. There is credit given. There is credit given. That is cool. So that wasn't Brad Allen's video though, was it? That was Brad Allen singing.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, yeah, you're talking about like, yeah, Matt Jamison, you're talking about like Brad Allen sounds awesome, slow down. That's the thing with Moloch Blaze is the productions, the audio. It's always with the audio. It's not just the visual aspect of it, but the audio as well. It's just, it is unique in a good way. Not a Minnesota passive aggressive, not in a Minnesota nice way, but yeah, it's unique. Thank you, Finkelstein. Thank you. Yes, Brad Allen is on fire. I wonder. Well, yes. Okay, moving. Oh, wow. I like how that was put together. I really like how that was put together. Now, what am I looking at, 45 over here? I'm looking at the New York Times opinion.
This is the steamroller getting ready to roll over more people. The woke steamroller that everybody's pushing behind and helping move along. Just like you were talking about. I never thought that we would get to this point. Read that headline.
I will read it.
And if you can't access the article, I've got it.
I will read it in just a bit here. And yes, Finkelstein, yes, it does say BAM right there in the intro. Truth be told, when I read BAM, I thought about the other guy that's always like BAM. That the black guy who is a conservative. God, what is his name? He's always going off like he's always sucking his teeth, and anyway, he's a conservative. He's always like fiery and stuff. I can't remember his name right now. This damn menopause, erasing my memories and shit. But yeah, I saw the BAM, but I didn't immediately realize it was Brad Allen music. But yeah, it does say BAM in the
I won't
thing.
cut you this time, but next time.
You know what, Finkelstein, you're absolutely right. Minnesota people are not nice at all. I found out going from a youth from Wisconsin to the Southwest, Georgia, South Carolina, and Texas, and living a majority of my life in the Southwest, and then coming to Minnesota. No, they're not nice. They're not nice. They're incredibly rude, and they're like highly progressive. They're a little bit too progressive, if you know what I mean. Yeah. All right. Let's see. As the U.S. becomes less white supremacy could simply be replaced. Oh, is this by colorism? Okay, simply be replaced by or buffeted by a form of light supremacy, in which fairer-skinned people. Oh, if you're going to be black, you better be so black that you shine purple.
You better be under the bed black.
Purple. You better be deep purple, and you better I don't know. Here, let's go and let's see. Cow pissing on black. Let's see.
Y'all better piss melatonin.
This is how black you better be. You better be this black. Let's see. Is this going to be...
2007 was a great year.
Oh, there we go. Come on, are we going to get to the video?
No.
Oh, that's not...
You need,
this is not the
35
video.
seconds of reading that.
That's not the video. Africans, here we go. This is how black you better be. You better be this black. This is how black you better be.
Dude, the showering in the cow piss is so fucking nasty.
Well, there we go. I know, Finkelstein. I know the rude Minnesotans you might be talking about. It's like, but
Can't wait for that guy to be at the White House later.
Rocky, look, it's like this. It happens like that. That's how it is. Most Minnesotans are, they're nice until they get into their cars. What the hell? Ugh, anyway, yes. Colorism, light supremacy, 45. I'm sorry, I was talking and bumping my gums. What did you say?
I said I couldn't wait for the guy getting peed on by the cow to be in the White House later so that we can talk about giving him reparations for climate change.
Oh, they're gonna, yeah, that'll come, I'm sure. That will come. All right, let's see. Minnesota in a nutshell. Let's see. Let me finish off this one
He can
first.
help to stop climate change by inhaling the cow farts while he's down there.
Oh, and then he'll meet with Biden, and then Biden will be like, oh, God bless you. God bless you. For whatever reason, give him ward, then, some Hollywood actor will come out and say, stunning and brave, and then it'll become a thing. And the next thing you know, because yesterday we saw the Asian lady smeared with feces. It's like next will be like, oh, yeah, this is great hair care product thing. We took all the cows off the farm so you don't eat them. So now we've got them lined up in stanchions at Sally Beauty so you can drive on by in your car, lean your head out the window, have a cow piss on you. Whatever. Anyway.
Trucker's on the move. He's got himself a working rover.
Oh.
Where he's going here. I'm along for the ride.
All right. Excellent. Not like yesterday. I get this brand new Antifa acquired vehicle yesterday in Space Engineers, and we went back to go pick up the rest of the crew. 45 gets to drive. He wasn't even in my vehicle for 5 seconds. Goes back. I think he was going
barrel roll.
I think he was going to go pick up Pitbull. It was either Pitbull or Trucker, one of the two. We're gonna go pick them up, and so 45 decides to do a barrel roll in my brand new cherry red, not a scratch on it vehicle. Beautiful vehicle, in my opinion. It doesn't have reverse thrusters. So when he did the barrel roll, all it did is it engaged the thrusters right at the ground, and he crashed my vehicle, broke it into several pieces, and then got out of the driver's seat and just went about his business.
How do you open the chat dialog box in this game?
But there's a chat. You hit enter. There's a chat dialog box. You
I
just
know,
hit
I know.
enter.
That's why I said I don't know how to open it.
Just hit enter. Are you using a keyboard?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. All right, so
Hold
let's see.
your right bumper and hit left on the D-pad.
Okay, so a revealing racist rant. I have to subscribe. This is behind a
Yeah.
paywall. Okay, if you have the New York Times,
I have it.
Oh, okay. Well, then here I'll go over to
Let me share my screen.
Now, remember, guys, I have a URL in my clipboard, so I can't receive any more clips right now. So please don't send any clips at this moment. All right. So do you want to do a 45-1 reading, or do you want me to do a...
You can read it. I don't care.
Well, thanks. Okay. I'll use my words. I have a theory about the future of... Who is this? Okay, so... I have a theory about the future of America, and I don't... Okay, so wait.
Mr. Charles Blow.
From the New York Times. Oh, I don't know if I can do this voice. Okay.
Go Blow.
I have a theory about the future of America that I don't want to come true. I'm not going to do it like that. Okay. It is a theory that worries me that I have not written about, that about the browning of America. White supremacy could simply become replaced by or buffeted by a form of light supremacy in which fairer-skinned people perpetuate a modified anti-blackness rather than eliminate it. Why do we need anti-blackness anyway? For most of my life, I never had to deal with this stuff because it wasn't a problem. I didn't care what your fucking skin color was. And now you're trying to make me you're trying to tell me that if I don't give a fuck about skin color that I am wrong. No, people. You people who are pushing this shit, you are the ones who are wrong. You are the ones who are racist. The racist comments revealed this week on the recording of a Latino leaders in Los Angeles. 3 city council members and a labor union leader did nothing to allay these fears. In the recordings, the council president, Nuri Martinez, who resigned as council president on Monday and resigned from the council on Wednesday. What? You just get... Oh, whatever. What, you just quit and everything? Girl, just say that you want to stay at home. Shit. She insulted people in the crudest, most racially offensive ways, comparing a colleague's black son to a monkey and appearing to insult Wakans. Oh, wah. Damn it, I know how to speak Mexican. Oaxacans, people who the disproportionate indigenous Oaxaca region of Mexico, by calling them little short dark districts, what? And then little short dark people who are ugly. Well, genetically, some people are just not pleasant to look at. I mean, shit. But what disturbs me most is the racial ethnic tribalism of her political calculations. After all, the recording is a meeting to discuss the city's once-in-a-decade redistricting process. This is how a meeting about power who can be helped or hurt by how districts are drawn. Why? All you're doing is you're making pens. You're making pens as we make pens on a farm. This is where we put the calves. This is where we put the pigs. This is where we put the heifers. This is where we put the steers. That is called segregation. You are actively segregating. So why? Okay, on the recording, when the former Los Angeles County Federation of Labor president Ron Herrera says, "I'm sure Katz and his crew have an agenda," referring to the former state assembly member Richard Katz, who is Jewish, Martinez responds that the Jews cut their deal with South LA. My word, what a bunch of drama. Even more directly, Martinez dismisses one official by saying, fuck that guy, he's with the blacks. I don't want to suggest that the people on that call are representative of society at large, but I do understand that politics is a full contact sport, and it divides people into groups. Sometimes those groupings are around policy and vision. Sometimes they are around basic things like identity and culture. Oh, and who made that important? Who in the hell went and mentally manipulated a bunch of people into thinking that shit's even important? To be clear, I believe in representative distribution of political power. Los Angeles is nearly half Latino. There should be strong, unapologetic Latino political power in that city. In fact, underrepresentation is a problem that continues to plague the Latino community. You're supposed to be Americans. It's the United States of America. What part of this don't you get?
And we started this conversation out with, we're eliminating white people.
And now we're into... It's like, do you know which country you live in? It's like, if you want to have this conversation and actually be taken seriously, go to a place that fully practices it. And I can think of a few places where you can go, where you can be as marginalized or as promoted as possible, as long as you follow their dogmas. But the United States of America isn't supposed to function in the capacity of which these people
Labels.
want it
Yeah.
to.
Yep.
Go on. You know what? Would you take over for a moment, because I'm about to have a cardiac arrest?
Yes.
Thank you.
As Paul Berrigan-Mong, the director of mobilization for the UCLA Latino Policy and Politics Institute, explained this week about Hispanic power in California, despite making up 39% of the state population, they only constituted 18.4% of executive appointments in the governor's leadership cabinet. Oh man, that Gavin Newsom is racist.
A little
The
bit.
imbalance must be remedied. The problem this recording poses is that people on the call seem to see power among the city's constituents as a zero-sum game. And in that game, they openly disparage other groups because of their identities, just like saying we're eliminating white people. Instead of allying with the disadvantaged groups, they diminish them. Their discussion was anti-black, anti-indigenous, and anti-Jewish. They were doing the work of white supremacy. How? They're not white. How do you do the work of white supremacy?
Well, I guess you have to identify as a white person and then be a supremacist.
Yeah, and not because they see white power as one and the same as their own. At one point in the recording, while discussing whether the council member Mark Ridley Thomas, who is black, will continue to be paid after his indictment on corruption charges, Martinez says, it's not us. It's the white members on the council that will fuck you in a heartbeat. Intra-minority racism is complex in some ways, but simple in others. Yeah, let's take a look at the black on Hispanic fucking crime rate in this country. Ooh, don't want to go there, do we? Racism is perpetuated by those who benefit from it. Anti-black racism benefits those whose appearances are least black. White supremacy benefits those who are white or those who are white adjacent in both appearance, culture, and effect. So you can't have white culture at all. Otherwise, you're a white supremacist. So
what the fuck is
any
white
of these
culture?
motherfuckers using a light bulb or plastics or shit
back
like
when I
that,
was
they better get rid of it all.
Back when I was on the left, we had a discussion in a gay gamer group about like what is black culture, because people wanted to know, and I had to ask like other people outside of the community. I was like, what is black culture? And every single black person I asked what is black culture was like, you dumbass. I was like, that's what I thought. It's like, there is no such thing as black culture. There's no such thing as white culture. That's not how culture works. Culture isn't a color thing.
Nope.
And these people are idiots. But please continue.
But that hopeful future isn't destined, no matter how much more racially tolerant we believe our children are, no matter how much more often racial diversity is presented in pop culture, no matter how often we have multicultural potlucks at work. Are you okay?
Right?
This is in part because some of the allyship we experience is performative. During the summer of protest in 2020, the summer of protest, that's what we're going to call it now. You would have thought that Martinez stood in solidarity with black people and black lives. She filed a motion to reduce funding to the Los Angeles Police Department, to defund the police, and she issued a tweet endorsing the policy saying, "Today, we introduced a motion to cut funding to the LAPD as we reset our priorities in the wake of the murder of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter call that we all support to end racism. This is just one small step. We cannot talk about change. We have to be about change. So we're going to take cops, we're going to remove their funding so that they can no longer go to the communities, which are predominantly black, where the crime rate is the highest, so that they can't have any type of support." So black businesses, black families that are just trying to make their way out of that fucking situation are all preyed upon by the actual criminals because they know the police aren't going to be able to come. She supported an end to racism in the public, but perpetuated it in private. Even in the part of the recording where she refers to the black child as a monkey, She is explaining that she was with the child on Martin Luther King Day parade float full of black and brown people. I mean, was the kid acting like a monkey?
That's what I was thinking when I read it.
Shit around and acting like a fucking idiot.
Do you know how many times I was called a monkey, like you little monkey, by like
yes.
It's like we call kids that. It doesn't matter the skin color. But go on.
Right. Yes. The only person drawing that comparison is the author of this fucking article.
Yeah.
The unfortunate reality is that anti-black white supremacy is not confined to white people or to Republicans, even though they court and coddle it.
Do I?
Martinez is a Democrat in an overwhelmingly Democrat city.
Right.
That's weird.
That's weird how that works. That is very weird how racism works in these heavily Democratic areas.
It's really
Could there be a correlation?
The fallacy is to believe that every person in every community that has been oppressed by white supremacy will reject it. Oppressed. She's a city councilwoman. She's oppressed.
Totally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's simply not true. For some, see oppression as having a perch. You must be elevated to perform it. So, okay, so you're just calling this bitch a performer? That's what you're doing?
It also goes along
That
with
seems racist to me. That seems misogynist. I don't know. Just calling her a performer. She can't think for herself.
Well, just like, okay, well, let's look at KJP. But, well, we won't detract. We won't conflate these issues, but
Can't
please.
call a kid a monkey, but you could call this woman a performer. Got it.
Right.
Being anti-black and being able to skirt most anti-blackness becomes a sorting device. It's an achievement. It is most American.
It is not most American. Wait a minute. It is most American. It is most American? Bullshit. Bullshit. Maybe in your twisted version of America, not my version of America.
This is the song that never ends, guys.
It has been going on for
fucking
centuries.
Assholes that perpetuate this shit. Eventually, the steamroller comes for you too. And like I say all the time, we continue down this path. These fucking soylents are going to be standing in line with shovels and pickaxes. There's going to be a nice man with an AK-47 or an M4 standing over them. And when they say, I shouldn't have to be digging my own mass grave, I was woke. I supported Black Lives Matter. I'm a transgender. And then they're going to catch a fucking butt stroke to the side of the head. And they're going to say, shut up and dig the hole.
Yeah.
Because when you get to the point where this is at no return, the people that are in power will have absolute power, and they don't give a fuck. They want you to labor for them so that they can live in lavishness and not share their resources with anybody else. That's what all of this is about. This is all the doorway into that shit, by labeling and dividing so that the people at the top can continue to accumulate more power and wealth.
And that's why I was kicked out of my lefty circles. That is exactly why I was kicked out of my lefty circles, for bringing that to the attention of the people in those circles. And they were like, that is so racist or bigoted, or like, and how it's like a couple of them were like, how can you talk like that when you're a transgender yourself? It's like,
how dare you?
Yes, that's the kind of like reaction when you start speaking truth to certain groups of people. And it was a large community I was a part of. And I think there's only like 2 people out of hundreds of people from that community who, like still talk to me, and they're still civil with me. But they tell me like what's going on. Like one of them went back to that old community and said, Cassandra is transitioning back to Kevin. And you could just, I could imagine how many pearls got clutched until they were dust. Yep. Hearing that I was detransitioning, it was just apparently it was a very, very traumatic conversation to find out that a tranny realized that it was a big fucking lie, and to go back, and that's not to take away from the article that 45 and I just like did, and by the way, 45, love your reads, you add a lot more inflection to it than I ever could, that's for damn sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Let's do a Moloch fillet, and then let's do a DJ Brandrak, and then after that, we might do a couple more issues, and then wrap it up. I am going to have to do a slight modification to the video today, so 45, I might be asking you how to do the best kind of editing. There is a piece of this video I really ought to remove, and it's when I went to a certain website. So let's go on to Moloch Fillets, and every time I do it, my videos end up being like 7 times larger than they should be in file size. Every single time, and I'm using Adobe Premiere, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So let us look at the Moloch Fillets, and then after that, we'll have a discussion about this video. This video, is this from Moloch Fillets? This is from YouTube. Fargo Season 2. Pretty Unfriendly. Finkelstein, did you give me this? One moment. Minnesota in a nutshell. You actually made a donation for Finkelstein. That is too generous. That is too generous. Thank you. Let's see. All right. So let's do this in a nutshell. Minnesota in a nutshell from Fargo Season 2.
What are you, having a baby in there? Hello. You didn't tell me your family was in from out of town. Whoops.
Gotta ask you your business here.
Maybe I'm the owner.
No. Met the owner this morning.
Is that right? Maybe tell us where he is. Make a few bucks.
I was gonna ask you the same. Say, you wouldn't by any chance be Mike Milligan and the Kitchen Brothers, would you?
You make us sound like a prog rock band. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mike Milligan and the Kitchen Brothers. Double whoops.
Easy.
Minnesota cop. You do know you're in North Dakota, right?
Must have got lost on the way to the lake.
So, where'd you say you saw old Skip?
At your mother's house. I think went in the back door.
I like him. I like you. Met another fellow from Minnesota yesterday. Big guy, sheriff, I think. I liked him too.
We're very friendly people.
No, that's not it. Pretty unfriendly, actually. But it's the way you're unfriendly. How you're so polite about it. Like you're doing me a favor.
Well, this has been enjoyable. But I better get going.
What did Nixon call it? Peace with honor.
Something like it.
No, you stay. We've seen everything there is to see. I am not a crook.
I will say this, there is a difference between rural Minnesota and urban Minnesota. It's like rural Minnesota is a lot more friendly than, say, urban Minnesota. Urban Minnesota is pretty fucking cliquey. I mean, it's like Austin, Texas. It's like if you've ever been to Austin, Texas, or Houston. Oh my, oh, am I actually making the comparisons? Rural, I much rather prefer rural parts. You know what? Any progressive state, I'd rather stay in their rural communities than go out to their urban communities. In conservative states, I like their urban. I like their urban. Dallas.
Just a side note: when you got a shotgun, aim for the neck.
What's up?
When you got a shotgun, always aim for the neck.
You know, can't you just take out the foot to start with? Does it have to be a throat shot with a shotgun?
Shoot to kill.
Wait a minute. Wait just a hot second here before we start DJ Brand Rack. And I go and have a cigarette before we come back. Finkelstein! Oh, you know I just cleared my browser. Oh. Thank you. I don't know what this is yet, though, but hold on. Now I'm all kerfuffled. Finkelstein, you've upset my menopause. Okay, here, let me go and take a look at this. Okay, all right. We'll put this... We will view this upon return afterwards. Now, what was I talking about? Thank you, Finkelstein. Yes, Minnesota. Rural and urban. Yes. Now, Drunken Rocky, you still there? And urban Minnesota doesn't talk like that. No, but what urban Minnesota, what I found out, and I guess this goes for any, like, progressive urban area, cliques. It's these damn cliques. It was so hard for me to date. Okay, here I go whining about dating in Minnesota. Why did I have to go through over 500 people to finally find a husband in Minnesota? That's
500?
I have a high body count. I have a really high body count. I'm not proud of it, but it takes a while. What? All right, I guess we're just going to move on to DJ Brandrak's set because apparently I'm a slut. But anyway, here we go. Be right back, guys.
Guys, the reason I'm glad I'm back, because the moment that sweet, sweet beer hit my tongue, I was born again! Hallelujah! Now I can show all of you what I've come to realize. The reason we're not allowed in the Forbidden Barn is because there is no intergalactic spaceship. He's taking our money just so he can build one hell of a spaceship.
What's up, friends? You're listening to The Mothership. I'm your host, DJ Brandrak, and we're gonna get into some tunes. Let's go.
Hey, you got something working, Super Trucker. You still in here, dude?
Yeah, I'm in here.
Yeah, your detector was working, dude. I just got a blips for magnesium and some other shit.
Magnesium means ammo.
I just gotta figure out how to put paste into this thing.
I want to figure out how to do like a because there's hinges and stuff, so we can make like cranes. I want to try to make like a piston-driven drill bit so we can drill down. You know what I mean? Like just keep adding onto it like an actual drilling rig.
Yeah.
We can definitely do that.
There's
with
got to
the
be a way to
pistons.
do that.
There is.
Yeah, there is. So, definitely. Yeah.
All right, so I want to like pick up where we left off now, the slut comment and stuff like that, the over 500 and everything. I want to remind people like what happened in my history in the military. When I got to Fort Hood, it was only a matter of weeks before a sergeant picked me up and befriended me and started grooming me for adult entertainment and such. And then Desert Storm, Shield, Saber, and Strike happened, and we had a phrase. I spent a year over there on deployment, and we had a phrase. It was called Body by Saudi, because people who served during that time tended to come back from Saudi Arabia much more physically fit than when they left, even with military training. So I had already been pre-groomed by the sergeant and had been introduced to a woman named Marcy in Austin, Texas, who got me a fake ID, put me on the stage, and had me dancing for much older men at that time. And I found out the money was really good, and I was young, and then coming back from Desert Storm, I was pretty fucked up in the head. And I went right back into my military service along with my night job doing adult entertainment. Back with Marcy. I ETS'd honorably from the military and was then transferred to Las Vegas, where I was transferred into the care of a man named Steffer, because there is an adult entertainment and escort network. This is all part of the trafficking. I ended up in Oklahoma at a place called the Havana Inn where I performed, and also shipped to Chicago and then shipped out to Minnesota. So I was performing at the Gay 90s and several of the venues out in the Twin Cities. Dating is very hard when you're an entertainer and when you're brought up from being a farm boy and then being groomed into adult entertainment. It is very difficult to date, and really all I wanted was a relationship. That's all I wanted. Dating, I mean, maybe my perspective is very tainted because it's hard to date when you're a whore. But that was my bread and butter. It was like I had my daytime job as a professional white-collar worker, as a statistician in finances and investment and actuarial. By night, I was somebody completely different. And by the time I hit 30, I was removed from the performance venue because I was aging out of performances. And then I was being trained how to acquire other 18-year-olds to bring them into the business. I got out of the business. Met Bruce about 14, 15 years ago, and I was at the tail end. I was in my mid to late 30s and had my limo driver, Marshall, and I had a pretty luxurious lifestyle. It was pretty high end. I had to walk away from it because it was killing me in my soul and my body. And so, yeah, that's a part of my background. And I'm not proud of it. But it's part of why I am very energized about this whole child grooming and what's going on. It's not just a matter of disgust from an outside level. It's because I've been a part of the industry. And it is vile. It's a very vile industry. And it's why I speak on the things I speak of. So, yeah, my body count is really high. I'm not proud of it. So.
Thank you for sharing, dude. It's not easy, so just wanted to say that.
Agreed.
Between service in Saudi Arabia and the horrors of what I saw over there versus what is being done in the human trafficking and sex trafficking communities and networks. Hands down, I'd prefer be serving in a war versus, if I had a choice, if I could go back and do it again, if I had a choice between serving in a war or being trafficked, I would choose serving in a war. Fuck. Alright, so on with When All the Choices Are Spent by Malik Falaise. I have no idea what this is. I haven't seen it yet, apparently, because I haven't had an input over here. But let's take a look. Alright, 5 minutes long? Alright, let's go. It's BitChute. I swear it's BitChute because...
Dick pig, over here pig. Make my shaft disappear in your love splatter and what you up in my mind. And soon enough now everyone will fall in line. It's closing.
One moment, let me do some technical issues and see if I can figure something out here. If I can figure out what is draining the bandwidth on this, because this deserves to not be, jittery and stuff like that. So let me quit some processes and see if I can free up some bandwidth and restart this. One moment, I am so sorry, guys. Let's see, let's get rid of that. Let's see if that corrects the issue. So let me start over. Alright, here we go. Let me back this up. Now I've got some issues right there. Shit. Okay, here we go. Well, apparently not. What is going on? One moment, guys. Just give me a moment while I figure out what the heck's
There
going
you
on.
go. Your mic was muffled too for some reason.
My mic is muffled.
It was. I don't know if it's just me.
Oh, no.
That demon there is giving me Queen of the Damned vibes. Aaliyah.
Dick pig, over here pig. Make my shaft disappear in your love splatter and what you up in my mind. And soon enough now everyone will fall in line. It's closing in now. You can't escape. On every corner waiting just to infiltrate. Pig, are you pig? Just 'cause they're big. And on your back, yo, that's my tongue, kid. Yeah, that's your boy, Gash. Into my drink stash. Keep sucking me. Do it till I'm tucking G. Bite your finger. Make a finger. Out here, fixing my rainbow finger. summertime.
My stomach makes this sound after Taco Bell.
Have you seen my pamphlets? Have you read my blog? Have you seen my army marching down to City Hall? This boy is
Okay, you know what? My husband is currently working from home, and apparently he really needs to download these like large files, and I guess his machine is prioritized on the network to grab all the bandwidth for some reason. So this is something I'm going to need to look into. Finkelstein, I'm sorry. I will show this video tomorrow when he isn't active, and I can actually get to the rest of this. For now, I'm afraid I'm going to have to end the stream because the rest of the stream, I'm looking at OBS right now, and it looks like I'm dropping frames left and right. I don't even know if you guys can see me. Oh, Matt, I agree. I need to get... I missed the fiber line. I missed the fiber line. But for people who may want to watch this, just in case you aren't at the show tomorrow, because this will be one of the first things I stream tomorrow morning, it will be this Moloch fillet. So let me back it up so I can save it in my tab. I know that
Okay,
this
my
is
public service announcement. There's 16 days left to shop for Christmas. Get out and spend some money. Go and save the economy.
Yeah, save
Just
the
kidding.
economy.
Just kidding.
Right.
Shop small
Hey, aren't we
business.
supposed to be out of diesel by now?
Yeah.
Well, you're not
Right?
gonna be out of diesel.
Yeah, and what about the trains? Did the train stop?
That's the strike would be tomorrow if they're gonna do anything.
Oh, okay. I'll have to listen for the toot toots. All right, you guys, have a great day. Love y'all.
All right, God bless. All right, we're going to be ending the stream now. I still need to make an outro at some point. So, due to technical difficulties, yeah, we will see you guys tomorrow. God bless savages. Have a great day.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Okay.
Buy preps, not presents.